国連英検特 A 級。最短距離でギリギリ合格。今日は F と G で始まる30単語です。チャンネル登録もどうぞよろしくお願いします。
Fabrication. Facetious. Facile. Faction. Farcical. Fastidious. Fatalist. Fatuous. Fecund. Felicity. Fervor. Fetter. Flaunt. Flout. Foible. Foment. Forbear. Fortuitous. Founder. Fraternal. Furtive. Garrulous. Gauche. Genteel. Gesticulate. Glut. Grandiloquent. Gratuitous. Gregarious. Guile.
それでは10個ずつイメトレ、定義、例文を流します。頑張ってね。
Fabrication. Facetious. Facile. Faction. Farcical. Fastidious. Fatalist. Fatuous. Fecund. Felicity.
Fabrication. A lie. Something made up. It was an elaborate fabrication to cover up the murder. Facetious. Humorous. Not serious. Clumsily humorous. Punning, facetious, irreverent. The funny man filled the newspapers and lighter periodicals with his material. Facile. Fluent. Skillful in a superficial way. Easy. We must avoid facile recriminations about who was to blame. Faction. A group, usually a small part of a larger group, united around some cause. Disagreement within an organization. The Red Army faction tried to undermine the state by terror tactics. Farcical. Absurd, ludicrous. The inquest has been largely farcical anyway. Fastidious. Meticulous. Demanding, finicky. He was fastidious about his hair, which he grew long and lacquered in place over a balding pate. Fatalist. Someone who believes that future events are already determined and that humans are powerless to change them. As a fatalist, Eileen Chang has been clearly conscious of the predicament of Enlightenment modernity. Fatuous. Foolish. Silly. Idiotic. Hesitating, Emma pushed open the door. It seemed fatuous to knock, a foolish act of politeness in the circumstances. Fecund. Fertile. Productive. It has now become clear how extraordinarily fecund a decade was the 1890s. Felicity. Happiness. Skillfulness, especially at expressing things. Adeptness. As a songwriter, he combined great linguistic felicity with an ear for a tune.
Fervor. Fetter. Flaunt. Flout. Foible. Foment. Forbear. Fortuitous. Founder. Fraternal.
Fervor. Great warmth or earnestness. Ardor. Zeal. These ministers lost none of their fervor for souls, but they became less mobile and more expensive to support. Fetter. To restrain. To hamper. Any attempt to stifle or fetter such criticism amounts to political censorship of the most insidious and objectionable kind. Flaunt. To show off. To display ostentatiously. while the rich could flaunt their wealth, the numerous urban poor lived in a state of penury. Flout. To disregard something out of disrespect. Accusations have been made that bus drivers already flout speed limits on the estate. Foible. A minor character flaw. I shall never attempt to palliate my own foible by exposing the error of another. Foment. To stir up. To instigate. The rebels know the truth and seek to foment revolution. Forbear. To refrain from. To abstain. His plan was such a success that even his original critics could scarcely forbear from congratulating him. Fortuitous. Accidental. Occurring by chance. The collapse of its rivals brought fortuitous gains to the company. Founder. To fail. To collapse, to sink. The talks have foundered, largely because of the reluctance of some members of the government to do a deal with criminals. Fraternal. Like brothers. The president's official visit marks the start of a more fraternal relationship between the two countries.
Furtive. Garrulous. Gauche. Genteel. Gesticulate. Glut. Grandiloquent. Gratuitous. Gregarious. Guile.
Furtive. Secretive. Sly. With a furtive glance over her shoulder, she unlocked the door and entered the house. Garrulous. Talkative. Chatty. Though my window is closed, I can still hear my garrulous neighbors loudly gossip in the night. Gauche. Unskillful. Awkward. Maladroit. They didn't seem prepared to say anything that might appear embarrassing or gauche later on. Genteel. Refined. Polite. Aristocratic. Affecting refinement. His genteel manner of pouring coffee for his guests is perfectly in place. Gesticulate. To make gestures, especially when speaking or in place of speaking. The teenagers shook their long, black hair and gesticulated crazily. Glut. Surplus. An overabundance. There's a glut of agricultural products in Western Europe. Grandiloquent. Pompous. Using a lot of big, fancy words in an attempt to sound impressive. When I heard the salesman's grandiloquent speech, I knew he was trying to make the car deal sound better than it actually was. Gratuitous. Given freely, said of something bad. Unjustified, unprovoked. Uncalled for. He's always looking for gratuitous attention from his classmates by pulling all sorts of reckless stunts. Gregarious. Sociable. Enjoying the company of others. Storms of people rushed in the nightclub to have a gregarious time dancing and singing to the music. Guile. Cunning. Duplicity. Artfulness. Without guile, it will be hard for the young man to survive as a politician. Now, let's quickly review all of these vocabularies.
Fabrication. Facetious. Facile. Faction. Farcical. Fastidious. Fatalist. Fatuous. Fecund. Felicity. Fervor. Fetter. Flaunt. Flout. Foible. Foment. Forbear. Fortuitous. Founder. Fraternal. Furtive. Garrulous. Gauche. Genteel. Gesticulate. Glut. Grandiloquent. Gratuitous. Gregarious. Guile. Now, tell me the definition of each word before I move on to the next one. Are you ready? Fabrication. Facetious. Facile. faction, farcical, fastidious, fatalist, fatuous, fecund, felicity, fervor, fetter, flaunt, flout, foible, foment, forbear, fortuitous, founder, fraternal, furtive, garrulous, gauche, genteel, gesticulate, glut, grandiloquent, gratuitous, gregarious, guile.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you soon. Study hard, speak English. Bye!